it was like being born again, because I made the decision right then and there. What am I going to do? What is the rest of my life going to look like? Because now I owe so much money, and in hindsight, it's chump change, right? In hindsight, but at that point in my life, it was just like a crazy number that I owed, a 6-figure debt, that I was gonna have to work for the rest of my life to pay it off, or I could start taking this real estate thing very seriously and start working on chipping the debt away. And little did I know that I would, I could pay that debt off in like one deal.
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. Today, I got a special guest. I got someone who just flew in from New York City, someone who I just met and connected with out at Tony and Sarah J. Robinson's live event out in Denver, STR conference. He's a real estate investor himself. He's someone who actually got in the game using student loans to buy his first property. He's bought and sold over $100 million of real estate. He's got some fascinating stories that we're going to dive into. I got my man, Jude Bernard. Jude, welcome to the show, brother.
Yo, Rich, thank you so much for having me, brother.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.
Dude, freaking dressed to impress, man. Like the denim, the blue jean jacket, rocking it, man. I've been rocking a lot of like
black
jean.
black.
Well, lately I've been rocking. I know I'm always black on black, but lately I've been rocking some jean shorts, the jorts, dude. So I'm a big fan of the denim, bro.
Nice. And you're branded now too. I saw that.
What's
You-
that? With the bill?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Bill reached out, dude. They they reached out on Instagram and they're like, "Hey, man, we see you rocking the Built stuff. We see you rocking our product on the podcast, and we'd love to talk." And so we started, talking, and then we ended up working out a brand deal through that. So you just never know, man.
Vogue up in here. GQ up in here.
Yeah. We're just getting warmed up over here, baby. So, anyways, hey, man. So start things off, dude. You got an interesting story, but first question, man. Tell me about this gambling addiction. You had a one-night gambling addiction where you lost over $130,000. What the fuck happened there?
Bro, like I've been a gambler all my life. I'm still a gambler. I just don't gamble like that anymore. But just real estate,
Real
business.
life gambling.
Yeah, real life
You're
gambling.
betting on yourself now.
Exactly. But back when I was a kid, pitching quarters and like when we were in the hood or seeing which roach would get to the end of the to the corner first and stuff like that. So I was gambling all my life. And then when I was working at the phone company, I was working with a whole bunch of degenerates. So we're rolling dice and we're losing our paychecks and bonuses all the time.
You were selling cell phones?
No, I used to be a telephone man at Verizon.
Okay.
Climbing telephone poles.
Oh, shit. You're the guy that's climbing the telephone poles, fixing the wires?
Exactly. That was
Damn.
me. Then I became a manager. So I was managing the guys that were climbing the telephone poles, but instead of managing them, I was shooting dice with them. Just crazy. But gambling has always been part of my DNA, and it was before I understood how money really works. Like I was always trying to get rich quick,
Mhm.
right? So in regards to the night that you're talking about, I remember that night vividly. It was, I was on my way home from work. Traffic was bad. I was driving by the airport, so traffic was so bad. I was like, hey, you know what? Let me just jump on a plane to Vegas. Like
From where? Where were you living then?
I was living in New York City.
Okay. And you
So-
just said, fuck it, I want to go to Vegas tonight?
And I said,
Middle of the week?
middle of the week, traffic was bad, and I was right in front of the airport. But that, like, when you're in the attic, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
stuff like that makes sense to you.
Yeah, what do you play?
I was playing blackjack, a little bit of poker, roulette, anything. But like my big money was always in blackjack. So I did that because I was just a gambling degenerate at the time. I was trying to quit for years. So that one particular night, I ended up playing at the blackjack table in Bellagio. Next thing you know, Sam Casella's sitting next to me. Starts with $500 a hand, then he goes to $1,000 a hand. So I go $1,000 a hand. He goes to 25. He goes to 5. I'm following him like I got NBA rings and shit. I don't.
Yeah. What year is this, by the way?
This is 2004.
Sam Cassell is a freaking legend. So 2004, I want to say he was playing for the Minnesota Timberwolves back then. But let's look this up real quick. I'm curious. I'm a huge basketball fan. I love basketball NBA.
Whoever he was playing for, he wasn't playing for Verizon making, making $100,000 a year like I was. So I had no business I had no
Yeah.
business.
So let's look it up real quick. I got Sam Cassell here pulled up. First round draft pick in 1993. 2000, okay. Yeah. 2003 to 2005, he played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And so that season, just put this into context real quick. That season, NBA stats here. Sam Cassell, Minnesota Timberwolves, 03-04. You said December of 04?
December of 04.
He started all 81 out of 82 games. The dude played 35 minutes a game, averaged 19.8 points per game. This is his career high.
Yeah, he was doing his thing.
And 7 assists. This guy was solid, man. Shooting 488 from the field and 398 from three.
Yeah, like it was a crazy night. They had the ropes. And the security guard. You know what I'm saying? Like big high roller.
Yeah, shooting 40% from three.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Anyways, okay, so you're at the fucking Bellagio. You're just gambling, and Sam Cassell just happens to sit down next to you?
Sits down next to me, and you know how it is. Treadmill. Somebody takes it up a notch, you take it up a notch.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's real estate.
And you got a bunch of people watching because Sam's next to you?
Got a bunch of people watching, girls, this, that, the other. Oh, it was a crazy night, by the way.
Yeah.
But
are you talking to Sam?
Yeah, we're talking shit. We're both talking shit to the dealer. You know, at one point, I was probably up like 80 grand, which to me at that time was just like a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
I ended up walking away 130 grand in a hole.
Damn.
You know,
so that was a $210,000 swing.
That was a $210,000 swing. And funny enough, I was on my way like to Minneapolis in the next week or two to go to air traffic control school. You know?
Damn, no shit?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I was going to air traffic control school, but now
where at?
In Minneapolis.
Minneapolis, okay.
Yeah.
So where did you come up with the $130,000?
I was doing real estate, credit cards.
You just had the cash sitting in your bank?
No, I was taking markers and like I didn't have it to lose.
Yeah.
It's not like I had $1 million in my account and I just lost 10% of it. No.
Sure.
I think I had a HELOC. You know, just stupidity. You know, playing with money I didn't have to lose. But it ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me because like prior to that, I was always trying to quit. Right? I had tried Gamblers Anonymous. I had tried hypnosis. None of that worked. I remember going to Gamblers Anonymous and looking at the people, and I was like, "Oh, these guys are losers. This is not me." But you know, you never really see how bad you are until you know what I'm saying. Like when you look at as an addict, you look in the mirror and you lie to yourself. But it was at that point when I got off the plane, the first place I stopped off was at a tattoo parlor, and I got it, you know, written on my hand, "Never again, 12/13/04," right? Because like I'm a firm believer, you can lie to anybody in the world, but you can't lie to yourself, right? And with this tattoo on my hand, I can't roll dice with a tattoo that says 12/13/04, never again, without saying to myself, "Yo, you're being weak. You know what I'm saying? You're lying to yourself." I can't hit me with looking at this thing. I can't drive
without looking at it.
Yeah. So it's just like that's the point where you gotta kind of look at yourself and say, "Hey, am I gonna lie to myself? Am I that weak that you know what I'm saying?"
So you're at the table, you're up $80,000. Sam Cassell sitting next to you. You guys got a whole group of folks, hot girls behind you, watching, right? Cameras out and all that sort of thing. What's your mindset at that point?
I can't lose.
Yeah.
Just, you know, the ego, the adrenaline, it's just like, yeah, you know, like when you get to 20,000, you say, okay, I'm going to stop at 50. When you get to 50, you say, I'm going to stop at 75. 75, I'm going to take it to 100. And then when you start losing it,
you start doubling down.
You start doubling down, and you start saying to yourself, you're like, "Oh, I was up 80 before. I got to get my 80 back," because it was never your 80.
Right.
You know, so very similar.
Well, in our reality, like you could also be like, "Hey, I'm up 80. If I get down to just up 50, then that's it."
Yeah, but the greed.
Yeah. You know what I do is I'll do like if I'm up big, I'll like let's just say, and I've never bet that big before, but let's just say I'm up like $5,000. I'll set aside like $3,000 and then I'll just play with 2, and I'll still have my stack there, but I'll have a mental divider, and I'll just be like, okay, this is the 2K I had to play with. If I lose this, I'm walking away with that 3K.
You know what I used to do? Well, I did this once, but as I said, I was a crackhead, so it didn't work out for me. I was up like $30,000, right? So I went to the cage and I said, hey, take these chips, give me a check for $25,000. Right? and I'm going to play with this $5,000. I ended up going back to them, asking them to cash the check for me, because that was the whole thing. Oh, I have a check. I can't do nothing with it until I get home and deposit it. So I'm at least leaving here with $25K. Nah.
You would go use it anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
But like I said, it was like the best thing that ever happened to me because since that day I've never gambled. I've never been in a casino since then. I've never bet on a game. I've never been in a street on a street dice game. I remember being in dice games where I could have lost my life. I'm from Brooklyn. The people lose their life in dice games all the time. Things go bad.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So this is all blackjack one night. And did Sam win money?
I don't know.
You don't know? and so, I mean, what does that feel like? You lose $180,000 that you don't have. What did you do? How do you spend the rest of that evening?
I got the free room.
Shit,
yeah, I got the free room.
That's an expensive room.
Yeah, I got the free room, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm just looking at my life. I'm just like, yo, how am I gonna fix this? What am I gonna do? And that's kind of where.
Did they at least give you like a fucking
no,
like a fucking wraparound penthouse for $180,000?
No.
What'd they give you?
They gave me a room. They just gave me
just a standard room.
A standard.
They didn't upgrade you nothing.
A standard suite, but
I'd been like, yo, guys, where's the fucking casino fucking manager? We gotta talk.
But
we gotta talk.
But again, the truth about this, that's another lesson is that nobody gives you what you deserve. They give you what you negotiate. And that you're absolutely right. At that point, I should have been, yo, my man, what's going on over here and this, that, the other. Even though it would have meant nothing, but just like in life, you get what you negotiate. You get what you ask for. Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's one of my biggest life lessons is you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate.
Exactly.
Yeah. And anything is negotiable. You don't get what you don't ask. Like
everything.
You said, closed mouths don't get fed. Anyway, so you go back to your room at the Bellagio. And you're just like that. What does that fucking feel like?
Yo, it was like being born again, because I made the decision right then and there. What am I going to do? What is the rest of my life going to look like? Because now I owe so much money, and in hindsight, it's chump change, right? In hindsight, but at that point in my life, it was just like a crazy number that I owed, a 6-figure debt. That I was going to have to work for the rest of my life to pay it off. Or I could start taking this real estate thing very seriously and start working on chipping the debt away. And little did I know that I would, I could pay that debt off in like one deal. So it was like one of the best things that's ever happened to me because one, it made me focus on the real estate, and two, it made me stop taking unnecessary risks. And one of the things that people very rarely speak about in real estate is managing your downside. You know what I'm saying? Like mitigating risk. How do you mitigate risk? What do you do? So that was one of the lessons that I learned from that.
Yeah, absolutely. And real estate is all about mitigating risk and taking calculated risk. And so it's like, okay, a lot of people unfortunately think that getting wealthy is created by luck, right? So they play the lottery, they go gamble, they play fantasy football, DraftKings, like high stakes DraftKings. I still play a little DraftKings every now and then for fun, but for me now it's just like this is just like money that I'm okay losing just for fun, right? I like a little action today, just a little bit, But unfortunately, a lot of people, like lower class people, just feel like the only way to get rich is luck, right? But in all reality, as real estate investors, business owners, entrepreneurs, we're gambling, but it's real life gambling, but we're betting on ourselves. And we're taking calculated risk, right? And so that's the biggest difference. This is calculated risk where the downside is very, very minimal, and the upside is very, very infinite. And those are the types of deals that we get into.
I can the high. Everybody likes to get high, right? I remember being in the closing.
I'm on a sober train right now.
high off the deal.
Yeah.
I remember being in the closing. Knowing that I was about to get $700,000 at the end of the closing, right? And I'm like checking my, the whole time I'm in the closing, I'm like checking my phone because I had an option play, like some stupid option play. And it's just like my attorney's like looking at me, what's going on? Why aren't you focused? And I had an option play, and I was probably gonna make $1,500 on something, right? And I was watching every penny that this stock went up or down. I was so focused on the win of the $1,500 that I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that I was about to walk away with $700,000. Because sometimes we're just so focused on winning or not losing that it's not even about the money.
Absolutely. That's good right there. So I want to go back a little bit. So you got arrested at an early age.
Yeah.
How old were you when you got arrested?
Probably 1920.
1920. What did you get arrested for?
Stupid, like credit card scams and possession of stolen property, just stupidity, stupid things that you do in school, like chasing a fast buck, right? But it was like one of the best things that ever. Again, every bad situation is just like, what is it gonna do? Are you gonna learn from it? Are you gonna get better from it? So this was another situation where I actually learned from it, right? And again, it was like a stupid misdemeanor, but I ended up getting arrested on a Friday night. So that meant Saturday, Sunday, Monday was a holiday, Tuesday was a snowstorm. So Tuesday was so something that I should have been in and out in like a couple of hours. I ended up spending almost a week in jail. And I'm not a criminal.
What kind of stuff were you taking?
What do you mean take?
You said you were taking property, like what kind of stuff?
Oh, this was back in the day when there were these things called phone cards.
Okay. SIM cards?
No, there was phone cards.
Where you like prepay for like minutes?
Yeah, you prepaid.
Yeah.
So we had a hustle going on with those because it was a big thing, especially for college kids, who needed to call home. So that was the hustle that was going on.
And where would you hustle? Like on the streets?
No, we were hustling on campus.
On campus? What school?
University of Albany.
Albany. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. And so what you would hustle these cards that didn't have minutes and you go sell them?
No, like
because I got a misdemeanor when I was a kid that I've actually never talked about. I'm gonna share it after you go, but I'm curious. Yeah.
So my boy would steal credit cards, and then what I did with the credit cards was I went and I bought phone cards, and then I would sell the phone cards on campus. So that was the hustle.
That was the hustle. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how do you get caught up?
Somebody snitched.
Somebody snitched?
Somebody snitched.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So, okay, so I've never told this story before. I like people that know me very closely know about it. But I talk openly about it I don't have a problem talking about it publicly because it's like so long ago I was a kid. So anyways, got a misdemeanor when I want to say I was 15, in high school. And I was hanging out with the wrong group, and it was Christmas time, the holidays. We would go to the malls and we would go like shoplift, right? And
boosting.
Hang out the wrong. And this is back before, like at the malls, before they had all the tags to where the security tags would set off the alarms. They didn't have that back then, so you can go in there and just literally rip like clothes and like walk out the door, and like there wouldn't be alarms going off for the most part.
Like San Francisco.
Yeah. And now it's a lot harder to do that. You got stuff that's like, I mean, I go into Nordstrom's now, and it's like the stuff's all like on these like wire hangers, and where you can't even take it off. If you take something with you, you got to take the whole rack with you, right? It's like almost impossible. So anyways, long story short, I'm 15 years old. It's Christmas time. I'm hanging out with the wrong group of friends. And at the time, we're going shoplifting and hitting up different malls. And so this particular day, we go to the mall and we rip the mall, a bunch of different retail stores for a bunch of clothing, right? Shirts, shoes, jackets, all this sort of stuff. Stuff that's like kind of easy to take out. And we just took a bunch of stuff from the mall at this time. And on the way home, we're hitting the sports chalet. And we go to the sports chalet. My buddies all kind of like grab a few things. And I grabbed, I think it was a beanie and a wallet. And I'm walking out. My friends are already out in the parking lot getting in the car. And I'm walking in the store, and all of a sudden, this big dude fucking grabs me. And he fucking takes me to the back room, sits me down, calls the cops. He's undercover. He calls the cops. Cops show up. Say, hey, we're going to give you a misdemeanor. We're going to give you a ride back to your parents' house. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to go back to my parents' house right now. So I said, take me to my sister's house. And my brother-in-law said that they're the ones watching me. So they dropped me off at my older sister's house, my brother-in-law, and in a cop car. And anyways, long story short, I get a fucking misdemeanor. They never found out about the other stuff that was in the mall, but just for the sports chalet stuff, I get a misdemeanor. But when you're 15, if you go to like community service and all that sort of stuff, it will get it wiped off of your record, right? And so I did that stuff. I remember going to like, we'd have to go sit in like a prison, like a fucking local jail, and like some of the folks would come out and talk to you. Did a couple of those classes, and yeah, it kind of sucked. It was embarrassing, but I'll tell you this. I turned 18, off your record, and legally, from a legal perspective, I never had to once, like applying for a job or anything, never once had to say I ever had a misdemeanor. That was kind of part of the program back then. If you got it, you're a minor, you do all the right stuff, you would get it wiped off at 18, and then at 18, you never had to like admit to having one, right? Yeah. I'm telling it right now though.
Yeah.
But it worked because ever since that day at age 15 when I got caught shoplifting, I literally never have fucking I'm like the most honest person you ever meet, dude. Like if I see someone like stealing a candy bar right now, I'll fucking say something. Cause I'm just like the most honest person you ever meet now. And so I'm glad that it happened. It was a life lesson that needed to happen at a young age. Because I've seen other kids like that I grew up with progress, and they went on to like stealing cars and all sorts of different stuff, dude. And for me, I got caught with something very minor. It was a beanie and a wallet and a sports chalet when I was 15. And, you know, I'm glad that all went down that way because it shaped me into who I am today. And now I'm a very honest person. I'm like, now with like, you know, we got a lot of investor money, we got a fund, all this stuff. And like, I want to sleep good at night knowing that I'm always going to be a good custodian of other people's money. Right. And at the end of the day, that's what life's about, being honest and doing the right thing. Right.
Funny story. Just to piggyback off of that. Back in 2016, I was about to buy a trucking company.
Okay.
I was buying this trucking company, and their sole client was Bloomberg, and this thing was printing money. This thing was like doing it was like netting $600K a year, and Bloomberg had to okay the sale, and they went and they did some digging, and that they came up with that thing. That, you know, some shit that happened to me when I was like, you know, 19, 20 years old in 1993, right? And you were probably a baby there.
Yeah, I was 8.
Yeah, back in 1993, and they didn't give the approval for the deal to happen. So the deal basically died. And I remember saying to myself, you know what? Fuck them, right? If they want to X me out because of something that happened, you know, 25 years ago, like if you can find any dirt on me in the last 25 years and that's the thing that you want to hold on to, like when I was a fucking kid, then so be it. But I think that was a testament to who I am, like the fact that you had to go 25 years to find a blemish, you know. So many times, like we have to be okay with forgiving ourselves, even if nobody else forgives you, even if somebody else doesn't forgive you. But you have to show yourself some grace, because I'm proud of the fact that you have to go back a quarter of a century. Well, at this point, you know,
totally.
That at this point, you know, 30 plus years to find some dirt on me.
If you love real estate investing, passive income, and tax benefits, but don't have the time, my company, Summers Capital, is buying boutique hotels right now. We source the deals, we renovate the properties, and we even handle all the day-to-day management, making it truly hands-off for our investors. If you want to learn more to see if we can help you, visit summerscapital.com/invest to book a call with our team. Again, that's summerscapital.com/invest. Now back to the show. The good thing is we live in a society today where people have a very, very short memory. So look what happened to O.J. Simpson, right? People forgot about that very quickly. He's out there hosting fantasy football leagues. You know, Kim Kardashian did some fucking shit with Ray J. She's in the fucking global office with Donald Trump signing new things into order. You got fucking look at Jordan Belfort. Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street. He fucking is taking Quaaludes, punching his wife in the gut, and fucking ripping all these people off in Wall Street, and they make a fucking movie about him. You know, there's tons of athletes that, you know, have rape allegations, all this fucking shit, legal trouble. And guess what? People have a very short memory. And a year later, 2 years later, 5 years later, people forget about that stuff as long as you do the right things. And so back to your point and back to, you know, for me as well, we're lucky to live in a society where people have a relatively short memory.
It's all about transformation, you know? Like everybody forgets that Ice Cube was the N that you love to hate, and now he's doing Disney movies. You know, so it's all about transformation. It's not who you were, it's who you are.
That's really good. Speaking of transformation, I'm going through a phase right now, no drinking, where I am going to reinvent myself in a lot of different ways. Between now and the end of the year, at least till Christmas time, I'm gonna no drinking, sober, fucking dialed. I'm waking up early, going to bed early. I'm in the gym first thing in the morning. I'm working out again at night, usually doing like a hike or getting about 4 miles of walking at night. And I'm just grinding and hustling and just strategically reinventing myself in all ways, whether it's in the business, the content, the podcast is going to get a lot better. I'm
on it now. It's good.
Yeah, I know. It's already getting better, bro. But like, I need to become a better host, right? And I need to. You realize there's levels to all the entire game has levels, and so, for anyone listening to this podcast right now, it's like there are levels to the fucking game, and so I challenge anyone listening to this right now, at least a couple times a year, identify your weak points in your life and identify what those weak points are, and come up with some sort of plan to improve those weak points. Or if you're not going to improve those weak points, delegate them out or cut them out of your life. One of the two, right? Sometimes it's like, hey, the things that are not making us money, let's stop doing them, right? And things that are making us money, let's double down on those. And so for me, the YouTube channel it's been a weakness in terms of the content. So I just started working with Evan Carmichael. He's a big name and he's helped a lot of big creators build their YouTube channels successfully. And so now I meet with him and his team once a week for an hour, me and my content team, and we'll chop it up. I'm going to start a new vlog series where I'm going to be recording basically throughout the week, kind of behind the scenes stuff, working out, hiking, some mindset stuff out on the boat, out on the water, behind the scenes here in the office. And then that's going to be chopped up into a 20-minute vlog episode once a week on YouTube. So just shit like that. But I'm going to become a better host. I'm going to reinvent myself with the content because there's levels of the game. In order to get to the next level, I got to get better. And it all starts with me. And that's just one arm, but it's like the property management business. We got to get better there. We got to get better at, asset management, operating hotels, all this stuff. And so I'm excited for it. And I also realize like the more you do as an entrepreneur, as a real estate investor, and the more levels that you reach, the more important it is to be sober.
Like,
you know what I mean?
You can't, if your head ain't right,
no,
ain't nothing right.
You got to take care of the body.
So just out of curiosity, you're doing 2-a-days and you're running this business, multiple businesses. What do you take for energy? Like, what kind of vitamins, what kind of supplements, or herbs?
Shit, man. Other than caffeine, like I got a little coffee here, a little Topo Chico. That's all I got. I'm just high on life, man. But Jude, I am getting my blood tested tomorrow morning. I just had a testosterone doctor on the podcast. He's going to come in tomorrow. I'm going to get my blood work done, and I might get on the testosterone. So I think that's going to give me an energy spike as well. What about you?
I haven't been doing anything.
Nothing?
Nothing.
How are your energy levels?
I have a 2-year-old daughter that I'm raising by myself.
Okay.
So that is a challenge.
Yeah.
So
what happened with her mother? Where's she at?
Oh, that's a long story. I'll tell you offline because I don't want one of these days I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my daughter, and I don't want some kid Googling it.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that, man. Yeah. I get that.
But it's a challenge. Like the other day I wasn't feeling well, and I went upstairs to her room and I said, hey, I need to take a day off. And she looked at me and was like, what are you talking about? Go downstairs and make my breakfast.
Damn.
Yeah, there's no days off.
Yeah, no days off. I feel you. How do you structure your weeks? Because like for me, we were talking a little bit offline. Like I heavy load my weeks Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I front load them. And then Thursday is kind of more of a half day. And then Friday, I'm like, I got nothing on my calendar. It's a flex day. So if I want to come in the office and get ahead, I can do that. But if I want to just be like, hey, I'm going to do a 3-day weekend, I can also do that. Or I could work remote, which is kind of nice. It kind of makes like this like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like heavy front load worth it for me at least.
Well, I got to be 100% honest with you. I need to get better about structuring my weeks because right now I'm very reactive. It's just like, what is today's fire? What do we have to take care of today?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having things on the counter, say we're going to do this, and this today, and everything else could burn, right? So I suffer from ADHD. So shout out to my team who tries to keep me grounded, and they try to keep me on a straight line. But it's very hard dealing with the text messages from the attorney saying that somebody wants to terminate a contract, a tenant is complaining about this or that, an investor is pulling out, there's a fire at one of the buildings, or the Department of Buildings just ran up and gave you a stop work order. So all of these things come up, and then it's just like everything goes out the window. But you have to have some sort of structure, or else you're just spinning your wheels. So that is something that I'm really trying to exercise a little bit better on, which is why we were talking about the coaching. Like, I'm great at making money. I'm great at finding deals where there's 200, 300, 500, maybe even $1 million of upside, which allows me to be a little disheveled. But if I could tweak that, a little better,
Yeah, dude.
be less chaos.
Yeah, I got a business coach, man. Shout out to Rick English. I've been using him for like over 2 years now. And dude, I meet with him once a week for an hour, and I wouldn't be where I'm at without him. He's amazing. He walks me through all the bottlenecks that I'm going through, all the challenges, all the fires that I'm putting out. And even like firing employees and team members, he helps me walk me through a lot of those decisions as well. And often it's like, I'm already kind of feeling a certain type of way, and then he just kind of gives me that validation that I need to have the confidence to go make a move or whatever it might be. But yeah, it's nice to have that person in your corner, dude, because, let's be honest, as we grow as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as real estate investors, it gets lonelier as we grow, right? There's less and less people that can actually relate to what you're going through. So it's like, love them. And there's a lot of fucking amazing people out there, but let's just be honest, not a high percentage of folks out there have the experience of like growing and building a team, right? And so,
but you gotta give yourself a little credit too, because everybody hears what you're supposed to do. It's just like the people who go from conference to conference, to YouTube video to YouTube video, but never take any action. But you got to give yourself a little grace for being able to sit down with your coach, taking that information and actually taking action. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's the part that people fuck up at, because they don't take action. It's just like, yeah. They're motivated, and like everything's a motivational story for them. And I'm like, motivation without any action is just a waste of time. It's just entertainment.
Yeah. I always say, take action even when you don't believe in yourself. Action leads to competency. Competency leads to confidence. So if you don't have any confidence, go give yourself a reason to be confident. And yeah, man, I feel you though. But, all in all, it's like it does get lonelier as you grow. And so to have that person in your corner is huge. So yeah, shout out to Rick, man. He's great. I'm happy to connect you too if you want.
It's funny you say that about the more you grow, the lonelier it gets. It's so important not to be the big fish in a small pond. Like I'd rather be
In a small room.
In a small room,
Yeah,
where
real players.
where I'm not the big guy. Like if I'm talking about doing a net $1 million deal, I want to be in a room where people are talking about doing net $20 million deals, net $15 million deals. That way, I'm learning from them, and it's not just people who are learning from me. Like if I get one more, can I pick your brain call?
Yeah,
What I'm
yeah.
saying?
I get that a lot. I still understand why people like network like that. They call and say, or they'll text or DM you and they say, hey, we'd love to take you out to coffee so I can pick your brain. We'd love to take you out to lunch. I can pick your brain. Let me know if you have time. And they'll just send stuff over. Hey, do you mind taking a look at this, look at that? And I love helping as much as I can, but I'm like, fuck this. That's the wrong way to go about it. Like, imagine if I, hit up Grant Cardone or Dan Martell, some of these guys that are above me, and said, hey, Grant, do you mind if I take you out to lunch so I can pick your brain? Like, that's just not how the game works. First of all, I would never do that. But I'm just shocked by how many people approach other people in terms of value exchange. Like, hey, I'm gonna take you out to lunch, pick your brain. Like, first of all, I can afford a fucking $3 coffee. I can afford a fucking $20 lunch. But to go and just get my brain picked, I mean, that just sounds fucking terrible. It almost makes me cringe when I hear that someone asks me.
Like my trick.
You're gonna pick my brain? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
My trick is always, hey, I got this deal. It's beyond me. I've already vetted it. It's beyond me. I'm gonna send this over to you. Just tell me what you think about it. And that's how I start the conversation. Like, hey, this deal came across my desk. it's beyond my scope. But I think it'd be a good fit for you. Why don't you take a look at it and let me know if I could introduce you to any of the principals and stuff like that. People hit me back for that one. At least you're coming from a place where you're not asking for something right then and there, and you have the opportunity to have a more organic conversation, and from that organic conversation, you then, start sharing about what you're doing, and then you get a dialogue. Not, can I pick your brain? Can I take you out for, $3 coffee?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know, man. And then I think a lot of operators, at least a lot of folks that come on my podcast, they have online communities, and we have a couple online communities, and dude, I fucking pour into the members, man. It's like I pour into them, whether it's on the hotel side, the creator side, I pour into them. And I always tell them, hey man, if you got a question or you're working a hot deal, dude, I don't care. Give me a call on a fucking Sunday night. I don't care if I'm at dinner. I'll step out, dude. I'm happy to help in whatever way I can. But for the folks that are like, I don't want to do that, but let me take you out to coffee. I'll pick your brain anyway. Yeah, I don't have time for that, man. There's only so much time in the day. And if I literally just spent my entire time responding to DMs and going out to coffee with people, going out to lunch with people that want to quote unquote pick my brain, I literally would get zero done for the entire week. Zero done. I would never grow. I would never have time to continue moving the needle, to continue growing the business so I can support my team and my investors and all that sort of stuff. I would have zero time for that. And so I always say, for anyone listening to this, the key is starting is about saying yes. Growing is about saying no. In order to get to the next level, you got to say no to all the bullshit. You got to say no to all the distractions, and you got to fucking stay focused on the prize.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I want to circle the loop, dude. So when you lost $134,000, what was it? Was it 134?
132.
When you lost $132,000, how did you pay that back?
I doubled down. I had a friend of mine who, her and I were very good friends. She actually took a loan against her 401k, gave me money to get back on my feet and start investing, and I was able to build again from that. And in hindsight, I'm just like, you cleared out your 401k and gave it to a gambler?
Crazy.
I was just like, yo, that's not very good. That's not very smart business. But it worked out. It worked out. It changed my life. Sometimes you just have to make sure that your character is intact, right? And although I was fighting this demon, but I've never lost an investor money, not once. I've never. Well, I have lied to an investor. I've lied to an investor. And told them that the deal did better than it really did, and paid them out of my pocket because I just wanted to keep my name in check. But your street credit has to be impeccable. I remember one time I told people that, this thing is gonna make at least 18%, and it came back at 8%, and I was like, coming out my pocket just to make sure that things were good. And that's basically one of the most important things that you could do, is to constantly make sure that your character is never tested. I'm on the gram every day talking shit, and there's no one in my content, in my comments saying, oh, he's a liar, he didn't do this or he didn't do that. I recently had a designer who did some interior design work for me, and she did a shit job, walked off the job, was padding the bills and stuff like that, and I wasn't paying her, and she started going around telling people, oh, Jude Bernard didn't pay me. And it was so good to see that every time that she opened her mouth to say Jude didn't pay me, people were like, well, that doesn't make sense. Jude has paid, Jude has been paying everybody for the last 30 years, and it's never been a situation. What happened? And then she would just, delete the post. Delete the comment and stuff like that. So that's one of my pride. One of the things I'm most proud about is my reputation. I'm solid. I sign contracts every day without a clue where I'm going to raise the capital from, but knowing that
you'll get it done.
I'll get it done.
Yeah, you always get it done. You always figure it out. The deal's good, and you determine you want to buy it, like you get it done. Like I've done so many deals where I was like, I don't know the answers of like, because when you look at a deal, right, start to finish, it's like there's 100 things that need to be done, right? So it's like we need to find the deal, then we need to get an accepted, we need to negotiate the deal, we need to get an accepted LOI, then we need to go find an attorney to draft up the PSA, then it's back and forth with the PSA, you know, contract, then we get a wire in the EMD, and then you can start the DD, need all the relevant documents, then you do the physical DD, and then what's wrong with the property, then you get the bids, right? There's 100 things that need to be done, right?
How smart are your viewers? Because I know what you're talking about, like purchase sale agreement, earnest money deposit. I'm just like, do people know what EMD is? Like regular people, do they know that?
Dude, the listeners of this podcast are very sophisticated.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we don't dumb it down. We let the new listeners that are like, oh, what is EMD? We let them catch
Google
up.
that shit.
Yeah, go catch up. But
Yeah.
I don't water down the content.
Yeah.
I'll never do that.
No, but yeah, shout outs to you for that. Like it's very important because at the end of the day, if it's a great deal, the money will find you.
There's a caveat to that though. I don't 100% agree with that because I'll ask you this: if I had the best deal out there, and I told you, Jude, I said, but the operator is my brother, who's a drunk alcoholic and is on meth and lives on the side of the street, would you invest in that deal as a passive investor?
As a passive investor, no.
Exactly.
You know?
So I think yes, the deal. I think if you find the right deal, it establishes your baseline profit. But I think you need the competency. The operator needs to have competency in order for it to attract the money.
The intangibles, exactly.
Yes, exactly. So anyways, what I was saying is there's 100 things that need to happen, 100 steps that need to happen from point A to getting a deal to the finish line. And then if you're talking about going full cycle, getting through the renovation and all this stuff, refi, and then a sale and exit, it's a lot of things that need to happen. So it can be very overwhelming, but I'm like, yo, just take step one, and then we can figure out the rest of the stuff later. So it's like, I always say, just get the deal in a contract. See if you can negotiate the deal, see if you can get under contract. If you're not going to get the deal in a contract, then none of this other shit matters, right? We can take our time figuring out how we're going to take down the deal, how we're going to raise the money, what kind of debt we're going to get. But if you know it's a good deal, just go lock it up. Nothing else matters.
I got this thing I call TACK, right?
Okay, what's that?
TACK. This is what you need to get the deals done. Time, access, capital, credit, knowledge. Between those 5 things, any deal gets done. And you don't, out of those 5 things, you don't even need to possess all 5 of them. You could have 2 or 3 of them and partner up with somebody for the other 2. So deals get done.
Yeah.
You know, so.
What's the craziest deal that you've ever done?
Craziest deal I've ever done. Craziest deal I've ever done was there was a house that was going on in foreclosure that somebody gave me somebody called me and I pocket dialed somebody and they called me back and then we were just chopping it up and it was just like, yeah, the house next door is about to go into foreclosure this week. Not foreclosure, it's about to be auctioned off and the lady's in Jamaica and XYZ, and so like all the investors are trying to get in touch with this lady, but she's in Jamaica. I found out where she is in Jamaica. I fly out to Jamaica. First thing I did is like I sent her a phone because I had to DHL her a phone so we could properly communicate. So I send her a phone. I fly out there, like I'm in the backwoods of Jamaica, and then we have to get a driver to take us to the U.S. consulate because that's the only place you could get something notarized in Jamaica, where they charge like $50 a page to notarize stuff. That was crazy. It was crazy. It just cost me like almost like $3,000 to get notary work in Jamaica. But anyway, fly back to the United States. Work it out with the bank, and I started getting all the hate from all the other investors. I'm just like, yeah, but none of y'all got on a plane and went to Jamaica. You know, you say you wanted the building. And you're saying that I came in and I stole the building from under you guys because you were scoping it out and working it. But it's like, but nobody jumped on a plane to go talk to this lady in Jamaica. So that's like one of the craziest things I've ever done. I've done a lot of crazy things, to get deals done. But that was that one takes the cake, because I actually there was no promise that I was gonna come back with a title.
Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes you just got to believe, like I jumped on a plane and came here.
Yeah.
no hotel, no nothing. I'll figure it out.
Yeah. And I love that you did that. One-way ticket to San Diego. That's honestly not a bad place to be stuck, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always do that? You're just like, hey, let me take a one-way and we'll figure it out?
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You
That's how I
know?
like to travel, too.
Yeah. It's like life's not on a schedule.
Mm.
You know, you try to put it on a schedule, but you never want to limit yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you never know who you're gonna meet, what you're gonna get into, and you just don't want to get stuck. You know, shout out to my nanny. My nanny's holding my daughter down. So
Yo, my man Jude's a free man for a few days out here on the West Coast.
West Coast.
Hide the casinos, though.
I have no.
There's a lot of casinos out here.
Have no idea.
There's a lot of Indian reservation casinos out here in San Diego. They're all over.
You know, it's
in LA too.
It's funny because I went to a wedding in South Africa. It was, I had to walk through a casino.
They do?
I had to walk through a casino to get to the wedding. And funny enough, I thought it was going to be a big deal, and it was really nothing. It's just like
It's past you.
It's past you, and it's like
your perspective of the casino was different when you were younger. Now you're viewing life through a different lens. You've grown. You've become a better version of yourself, and so now, 20 years later almost, 20 years later exactly, you're walking through the casino with a matured perspective because you're a better version of yourself. And so this version of yourself is not even rattled. It's like, oh, this is what I got excited about back then. It doesn't even get you out of bed now, right?
And the fact that I understand that it's a business and it's a scam. You know, like
the house always wins long term.
The house will always win.
What happens, by the way, if you weren't able to get your girlfriend to cash out her 401k so you could pay this debt, what would have happened with that debt with the Bellagio? At the end
of the day, the house always wins.
Yeah.
You know, the house always wins, you know, like
But what would have happened? Like, you would have been like, what happens in that case? Because I've never been in that situation, but $140,000, you go, yo, because like you had the debt, right? They let you leave the hotel without paying it?
Yeah. Well, no, I had markers. They had my social security number, all that.
What are markers?
Markers is when they basically give you chips against your credit.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's corporate. You know, like I don't think over $140,000. I don't think anybody was gonna come break my legs. But they would have put liens and judgments and fucked up my credit and all that other stuff. So it's like I had to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's kind of like one time back in like 2008 when the world was falling apart. I had a loan that I had a few loans that I tried to negotiate with the banks with. And there was a very small Asian bank in Chinatown that I tried that with, and they, you know, somebody came to my house like, yo, we don't do this here. You know, it's just like, you signed this, you owe this. And I was like, oh wow, you guys aren't Citibank, are you? So
crazy. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming all the way out from New York, man. I'm a big fan of everything you're doing, crushing the game, keep inspiring. Where can the folks get in touch with you?
Oh, I'm on IG, Mr. Jude Bernard.
Okay.
You could also catch me at the Brooklyn Bank.
The Brooklyn Bank. Let's go.
Yes. We didn't even talk about the Brooklyn Bank, but you know, keep that on the next one.
Okay. Plug the Brooklyn Bank real quick.
The Brooklyn Bank is a nonprofit organization based on my desire to provide information to the hood. Let them know about everything from real estate, investing, credit, stocks, insurance, all the things that I was not privy to growing up, and that information has made it possible for me to live a good life. So the hood has been good to me, so I'm trying to be good to the hood.
There it is. I love it, my man. Well, keep crushing, keep inspiring. He's Jude Bernard. I'm Rich Summers. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.